What's good, YouTube family? It's your boy Earl, aka my name is Earl. Welcome back to my YouTube video. We back on this another series of Let's Talk. Glad to bring my special guest, my roommate, Justin.
Justin, aka on YouTube, Jozen Walker. Like and subscribe. But yeah, so what are we here to talk about today?
So today's on episode 2 of Let's Talk. We're talking about why do nice guys finish last?
Why do nice guys finish last, man? That's a tough one, man. I feel like the first one really is use and abuse. I feel like a lot of people take kindness for weakness and then flipping on them and then makes it into a whole situation to where you knew that you should have been the bigger person to just take yourself out of that, to not take people's life for granted.
But yeah, I think that as well. It's just that certain people take advantage of people that devoted and trying to give your affection to a certain significant other. They always try to, you give them an inch and they take that extra mile.
Take that mile.
To that extra mile, which is exceeding the expectation.
Okay.
But I believe that being used and abused, like, you should never give your all if you know that person's not gonna give you that whole entire heart. Like, you don't want to just be, all right, I'm gonna give you 1,000 and I get 0.
Heck yeah.
No devotion.
Especially when it's like, in some cases, like, sometimes it can be noted and like be known, like, hey, this is not what this is prior to. When stuff like that happens, that's just like up to that other person to make that decision. So just because necessarily somebody didn't want you and then let you know that doesn't mean that you guys doesn't last. It was just because they would have rather been honest with you and told you straightforward.
Yeah, I was about to say on that note as well, I feel like people are, I guess you would say, inherit certain things, like I said, from parents or whatever they observe, or from a friend or whoever, how they handle certain situations and relationships prior to, and they just believe that, all right, if that person doing it that particular way, maybe I should take that trait and do it this particular way in my relationship. But it really isn't that reason.
It's not at all. What do you think the second biggest reason is to you, man?
I would say timing. Like, sometimes certain people who are hurt that are you're kind to, and you try to give them that loving that they've been, like we said before, used and abused on for that certain cycle. But it's just the timing. Like, people are still hurt, and they just use that results from their last relationship and bring it to the current one.
Heck yeah, what you're not supposed to be doing.
Which is horrible.
Heck yeah, because
it's horrible.
Let it be known, man, for all the dudes out there, you might miss out on something good. For all the girls out there, you might miss out on your blessing too. Timing is very key, because I tell all my friends this, I tell people this all the time. Sometimes people don't really sometimes I don't think people think about it like this. Like, it's 8 billion people on the world. It's 4 billion of them is women, and the other 4 is men, or whatever the ratio is. I don't know. But that's not really important. The important part is that everybody has their own problems. Like, everybody has a different struggle. A lot of times we don't respect the other side just as much as we should respect ours. If we love ourselves, we would respect the other side as much. So I feel like that's really key for, like, knowing, like, the time, because you can just be in a great part of your life and that's what happened to you, and the other person could have just been going through complete hell and met you. So it's not like they want to keep you out for whatever side it is. Take it with a grain of salt. If you're in a relationship, I believe in helping the other partner. I'm like, help her so she can help you, because you know how she can help you and you know how you can help her. It's like watering each other, like a plant, like the plant may bring me oxygen, I had to put water in it to do so. Like, it's always a give and take. But like, if you see somebody going through that, like I said, try to help.
I would say that as well. I believe that, because timing, like I said before, like, people can be hurt in a certain situation, but like, once you find that good person in your life, you don't want to lead them astray and lead them hanging like a cliffhanger or anything of that nature. Like, that person is there for a reason. Like, you don't want to just let that, all right, man, you just like this type of person. And don't try to bring other stuff that you happen in your relationship into a current relationship as well. Like nobody needs to hear, "Oh, you're just like this person." Don't compare. That's awful.
We are totally different.
Yeah, totally.
That's why I said everybody has their own problems. Like what I went through is different than what he went through. So if I know that we can get through this, I'm going to be an advocate for it. The problem doesn't necessarily matter. We just have to put forth the effort. Shit might have gone or nothing but wrong in the last one, but this one, think about doing nothing but right. Like trying to have that mind switch, even though like in every way in your last relationship, the shit just went left. Like if you have that mind switch in your next, you know what? At my next one, I'm gonna do whatever I can that's positive that can make this work with anybody. Dealing with that person, I feel like that would really help. Like I said.
And the next main part of it, I would say, there's always another person's trash is another person's treasure. I go by that motto. Like, I believe that a certain person that treats or abuses, like we said at the beginning, that one specific lover or spouse so bad and harsh and horrible, then that next person that comes up can be the prince, the king, the queen, or a princess that person been looking for, that treats them like gold. Like they just value that person so dearly.
For real though. Really another person's treasure is another person's treasure, man. The big thing in relationships that I believe is that, like you take people, like I said earlier, you take them and you try to build them up. One thing that the other person didn't like them doing doesn't necessarily mean that was a bad thing. They just didn't accept it how they should have. So like you can help people, but you can help people like you can help your partner. Try to nurture those things. You take them and try to water them like plants, because like I said, like they will in return give you something greater. It's like picking up the pieces to a puzzle and you don't know what the picture is, honestly. So yeah, just take people, you try to nurture them, help them. You water me, I water you. That's the biggest one we always hear. So yeah, just keep those things in mind, man.
Yeah, and on top of that, what he said about the nurturing, because like nurturing, you can tell who is there for a reason and who's there for a season.
For sure.
Those are two completely different things that I've learned to value that my mom taught me. Like if you know a person is there, they're there for that reason. But if that person's only there temporarily, that's for a season. Like you just got to be able to tell the difference between the two, and that definitely is a big plus.
For sure. But even though like those are the reasons that nice guys finish last. Those are the cons. Excuse me. Let's talk about the pros, man. I personally don't believe that they finish last in all situations. Like a lot of things that we do is just showing the chivalry. It's like showing an act of kindness. That in return is just a good act. It's like it's not something that is like it's not like a cat call or something like that. It's just respectful. We see it as very respectful, especially in the South. Like opening doors, walking your lady across the street to the inside of the car, even on the sidewalk, or having your ladies back to the door of a restaurant when you go out to eat, and so you can see the door just in case something happens. Just things of that nature. That's what like chivalry is. Like in the South, that's what we do. It's a cultural thing. Please don't be offended by it. So, but yeah.
But also, like I said before, on top of that, like be careful on how people treat the spouses or significant other treat their parents.
Okay.
Be very careful, because if they cuss and go crazy and OD on them, like that's really how they gonna treat you, like just like that. So don't be surprised.
This is like I said, it's a respect thing, man. They respect their parents. They respect themselves. They respect their parents. Respect your elders. Things like of that nature. Like the way they talk to them is definitely the way they're gonna be talking to you. Especially if they've been in their life for 20 years and you just been in there for 20 days. Like, I promise you. But it's a lot of pros to this too, man. Please don't take this like in a negative way, because we want the nice people are gonna win in the end.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That person that's for them is gonna come along in their life, and he's gonna take those pieces, or she's gonna take those pieces, and she's gonna take and nurture them, help them, like water. She or he will water them so you may grow, just like how you in return will water for their plant. So just keep those things in mind, man. It's really just like it's a give and take, but it's not toxic at all. In a way, like you should want to be able to help your partner. If you see them in their lows, be able to help them and lift them up. Especially if that's quote unquote your best friend. It's supposed to be your best friend at the end of the day. That's your woman. That's the woman that you stand for. So but yeah.
But yeah, like you said before, like best friends, like you have to be careful on also trust. Like if you know that person you can't trust for a minute and you gotta question yourself, don't second guess yourself, bro. Like your instincts is gonna let you know the signs. Like I promise you.
Heck yeah, for real.
But
you got it.
But I mean that's all I pretty much got from my side. You got anything else, Justin?
Nah, man, we're gonna go ahead and end this video. This is
the episode 2. Let's talk why nice guys finish life. But before we finish, ladies, this is not biased.
It's not biased at all. Like
we love y'all.
Yeah, for real.
There's nothing towards y'all. No, I don't want no bashing on me.
Like I said, like a lot of this might just be from a male perspective, but this is all with positive viewpoints in mind. I know women go through a lot, so that all is truthful to your story, especially.
On that note, if y'all ladies or if I miss any topics for y'all on this particular subject, if y'all want to talk about it, hit the comments below. Let me know. Don't leave it empty. Let's get this discussion rolling. I want to know what I missed out or I didn't talk about on a particular topic that we just had. I don't want y'all to think that I know there's nice girls out there and they're getting the same justice, a double-edged sword. I don't want y'all to think I'm biased every day.
Heck yeah. But this is Earl. I'm Jozen Walker. Like and subscribe to our pages. We'll leave them both in the comments, or at least mine in the description.
No, I'll put his in the description. Don't worry, he ain't gonna be left hanging. Episode 2, 2020. You on the way.